vowed to end child marriages by pushing for girl retention in school.
19 years, there are about 598. And that's not even their first child. Some are having the second and then third child, 15 to 19.
Similarly, Samira Baumia encourages women to rise above their present circumstances. It demands discipline, mental fortitude, and above all, brute strength. But these are not things above the abilities of women. Stay for how women are making inroads in the military. And well, it's Women's Day, so around the world, Ivorian government bans work deemed as inimical to women in an attempt to upgrade its labor laws on International Women's Day. But we'll start on the beaches, where activities of poachers are affecting the population of turtle along the beaches of the Volta region. Here's a report by William Evans Inkum.
The beach at Atiteti is one of the most patronized places by tourists. The green turtle, hawksbill, leatherback, loggerhead, and olive ridley are the commonest species found here. However, human activities are rendering two of the species extinct.
So the hawksbill and the loggerheads are the most preferred for the poachers, and they are becoming extinct on shore. And I must say that the situation is gradually reducing the population size of the sea animal. Not only that, but it is also affecting tourism.
A viable beach is becoming a bloody one due to activities of vicious poachers. Rex is a tour guide, and he tells me the fall of the turtle population causes a dip in the country's tourism revenue.
It's affecting the community a lot because one, the turtle does a lot in the sea, and wherever the turtles are, there are a lot of fish that the fishermen here can have a bumper catch. But because they are killing the turtles, they are selling them to market women to sell as meat, and also it's killing tourism.
Hundreds of tourists patronize the beach during the dry season. The Fuveme and Atiteti beaches are the core nesting places for turtle, and this attracts tourists to the area. At the first Ghana National Sea Turtle Conference, some participants expressed worry about the trend.
I think a lot of times the struggle is that people don't recognize that the turtles are in trouble. And I meet people along the coastline in Ghana that sometimes they don't even know that sea turtles exist in Ghana.
The bloody poaching of these turtles along the shores of Atiteti and Fuveme is a known phenomenon to the Wildlife Society of Ghana. But is there any punitive measure to stop and deter the vicious offenders?
We need to review our law. Because people who, my colleague said that when they arrested the poacher, he was fined 600 Ghana cedis or go in for 6 months. That's not punitive enough. And then when we arrest people, we arrested three people last year, and they were asked to pay 480 Ghana cedis each, which is not punitive. The community just went around and brought that money, so they were immediately released. So maybe we need to review the law and make it more punitive. But we also have to look at the global trend. If ours is the too extreme, then we will not get the support from the community.
Urgent steps must be taken to stop the poaching of the sea turtles at Atiteti before they go extinct.
Well, it's a daily spectacle on the streets of Accra and many other places in the country to see persons with disability beg for alms along the streets. In some cases, it's become a lifelong activity. But for Elizabeth Buediwa, smart begging is the way to go. She saved some money from all the alms she received and started a small business. Here's a report by Patience Atipoka.
It is a normal day for these hawkers, selling their goods to both passengers and pedestrians alike. A job that requires a lot of energy because of the long hours spent on the streets moving from one motorist to the other. Wheeling herself up on the Padmore Street in Tema Community 1, Elizabeth Buediwa sells items to motorists who may need them. This is how the 43-year-old has earned a living the last 3 years.
Madam Fubina say oson da Nyankopon say menton wade. Mami sreska menton wade. And I'm see you. Intimation say all the omono bako na bram de chase. Teme de chase ne nyame adom e ko fine. Me so anu de chima musa. Sese anu we na senti. Intimen chima bi je metefako.
GHOne is what her customers call her, largely due to her lively nature and choice for very conspicuous makeup. Hawking, however, has not been easy for her as she has lost her wares several times.
Mommy, scan me the far. Near we are me baby in tape. No, my we are. Last year I buy 5 million. And I'm so sick of bank. Nico, you know. At the funny money, I get your movie and my back. So I said me what container be there. Come the Bramia, Nam dear goom, Namatum. I know they are meeting me at all, Nam they are renting a dime.
Moving from vehicle to vehicle, shouting out her goods to potential customers is how she sells her wares. A task which for a person like her is very challenging. The situation even worse when the rains come down.
Yeah, cry me baha me bet no. Mammy ni jino. E bi anko ne otisa na anko de bet na ho je asase. Me bet no but so what no o no parazo no anyway. No, I'm not going to say I could try to say no my body. Me buy want to watch it. I just to practice not in we no so. No or treat no the for can na ye to na o mo no so e bi have better no to. Ntimi kura mbe hu na me ni age no ho.
That may be the least of her worries. After I had this work, Elizabeth has nowhere to sleep. In front of this shop, with her goods beside her and her head over the handles of her wheelchair, become her bed for the night.
Obi be sheniga. Okoto se mi na ni adichi emi se no de wulo Tokyo sibi. Adichi no ma be sani nyina adeko. Bi pese oboa na one thing is say baby order, oni baby order. Otimida market. Sometimes we when was steps na say a drum public toilet order ni wheelchair no sa na ade achi. The accommodation, me the obi person buana first in here.
Elizabeth was paralyzed at the age of 15 after receiving an injection on her right thigh. Left to her feet, Elizabeth has had to brace the odds of life alone. Today, she hopes someone could come to her aid.
You're watching News Tonight, and if you have any form of help for Elizabeth, you know what to do. Get in touch with the GHOne newsroom. Let's head for the prisons now. Now, the condemned section or special block of Ghana's largest detention facility, the Nsawam Prison, is also going to undergo massive renovation as the Dankwa Institute is seeking to immortalize the legacy of Dr. J.B. Dankwa, who died at the prisons about 54 years ago. The Political Ideology Institute believes the project, if fully realized, will not only enhance the country's political history, but could also serve as a tourist attraction to boost revenue generation in the sector.
The late Dr. J.B. Dankwa was arrested and detained on the 8th of January 1964 at the Nsawam prisons and later lodged in the condemned section in cell number 9 on the upper landing. According to historians, the life of Dr. Dankwa in the cells could be likened to that of a condemned prisoner awaiting execution. J.B., however, could not survive the ordeal and died on the 4th of February 1965. A visit by the Dankwa Institute to the Swan medium security prisons as part of its 10th anniversary revealed the deplorable state of inmates and the death place of the late Ghanaian statesman.
When I entered the cell number 9, I felt so sad. You know what I mean? So, and looking at a cell that took one person. Now, 4 people find themselves in that particular room. And for me, we are thinking about what we can do as an institute.
The institute has therefore committed to renovating the special block of the Swan prisons and also monumentalize the cell where JB died.
We are thinking about, if possible, making that place even a tourist attraction, because JB Dankwa was a huge figure. He was an extraordinary Ghanaian, a patriot, a nationalist, and we can even use where he was confined to death as a means of letting people come and know the form of tourist attraction. We are thinking about how to make the place beautiful. That is something I'm taking back to the leadership of the institute to see how we can help make the place look better.
The Dankwa Institute, in the meantime, has presented to inmates assorted food items and toiletries valued at 20,000 cedis. Authorities at Swan prisons are meanwhile appealing to Ghanaians to provide them with food items as the facility's food stock is running low.
Now, the Court of Appeal has set aside the findings of the Judgment Death Commission chaired by Justice Yao against businessman Alfred Woyome for breach of the rules of natural justice. A 3-member panel presided over by Justice Victor Fui also made an order for the findings to be expunged from the white paper dated 18 November 2015 and the report of the sole commission, for instance, was not from Woyome, but an investigation which he should have been given an opportunity to answer questions for himself. The court also insisted it cannot comment on recommendations but only findings. However, the order of the Apex Court for the businessman to pay all the money given him to the states or by the state still stands. Let's come back to the women. First Lady Rebecca Ekufuado is unhappy with the status of girls in the country. She's given her strongest indication yet to end child marriage by pushing for the retention of girl children in schools. As the world celebrates women with a call to press for progress, Rebecca Ekufuado says keeping girls in school is the only antidote to end child marriage.
The First Lady was at an event to celebrate women. Rebecca Ekufuado was in the company of Samira Baumia, wife of the Vice President's former First Ladies, Fulera Liman and Nana Konedu Ajiman Rollins, Hajia Alima Mahama, and chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, female justices of the Superior Courts of Judicature, Queen Mothers, female members of Diplomatic Corps in Ghana, market women, and female industry players were all present to be celebrated for their different roles towards Ghana's developmental efforts.
Last year we met here with the theme, Be Bold for Change. At that event, we all pledged to take bold initiatives to ensure gender parity. I am happy to report that my charity, the Rebecca Foundation, has started a women's empowerment program called Telema, because, as we are aware, improving women's economic status ensures that we bridge the gender gap. So far, we have equipped 200 women in the eastern and northern regions with skills to improve their businesses and their family income.
The women also discussed policy guidelines that can be introduced to help deal with the issues of child marriages and retention of the girl child in school.
2015, we had 10 to 14 girls, 10 years to 14 years, 5 of them being pregnant. 2016, it came down to 4. and 2017 we had 3. That means it's coming down. But 15 to 19 years, they are about 598. And that's not even their first child. Some are having the second and then third child, 15 to 19.
Judiciary Chief Justice. Now, wife of the Vice President Samira Bawumia, in marking this year's International Women's Day, has called for more concerted efforts towards championing the cause of women. Speaking to GHOne after hosting the morning show on Star 103.5 FM, as part of today's celebration, she said, although women have been marginalized for years, they can rise above this and be more beneficial to the society.
We are celebrating Women, International Women's Day. For you as a woman, what are some of the things that you want to see changed in our society?
Well, I'd like to see the stereotypes that inhibit women, things that say women are not supposed to be here or do this or speak their minds or be individuals. We're all individuals. So I want attitudes to change and opportunities to be given to women who will be able to rise up to the occasion.
Do you share in the idea that women are their own enemies? That's why they're not able to reach that kind of level we want them to reach?
I don't like that saying. There may be some truth to it, but I think society at large has not been fair to women.
How?
Because, like I said, there are inhibiting factors, there are cultural practices, there are, socioeconomic practice that make it difficult for a woman. For instance, if a woman wants to start a business, she needs capital. Women in many societies in Ghana do not own property. So how does that woman, start a business, even if she's competent to be a successful CEO? So there are inhibiting factors.
Oh, okay. Now, finally, really in our society, how do you think women can really move beyond all these factors that inhibits their growth?
Well, by coming together, by speaking more, by taking advantage of days like this to, amplify some of the successes we've chalked, celebrate the women who've done great, who've defied odds to be successful, to make a difference. That is how we can impact society and make a change.
Let's stay on Women's Day a bit longer. The Ghanaian media is relatively one of gender balance, considering the number of women who are not only on field reporting or presenting, but in strategic positions. Award-winning international journalist Esther Ama thinks women in the Ghanaian media need more space to speak out. She spoke to William Evans Inkum.
The Ghanaian media is spiced with intellectual women who have over the years changed the political and socio-economic outlook of the country. Personalities like Emma Morrison, Eram Bashan, Nana Abba Anamwa, Beatrice Abbey, Efia Pokria, just to mention few, continue to blaze the trail in their respective fields. These personalities have told the Ghanaian stories and continue to serve as role models for young women who aspire to enter the field of journalism. But the fact is, the space is still big to accommodate more women than we see. From governance to entrepreneurship, the country needs to create more avenues for women who have the zeal to empower themselves.
We have, and we should always recognize that women in the media in Ghana have come a long way. But since March is both about our independence as well as the month in which we celebrate women, we should tie the two things together and recognize that to press for progress, to think about a greater independence means having a greater representation of women in our media beyond just being on camera.
To Esther, women in the media can use their space to champion their own cause.
We are in danger of thinking that presence and power are the same thing. First of all, of course, you must be there. Representation matters. But once you're present, how do you move from just being there to be able to do something with authority that actually allows us to change the narrative? Because in Ghana, the importance of women in positions of power is about covering stories differently, making sure that we cover areas that are uncovered.
She also wants equal opportunity to be given to women in the field of journalism.
When you talk about the economy, you're talking about women. When you talk about employment, you're talking about women. When you're talking about health, you're talking about women. How do you ensure that women are included in every story? And the ways in which not just women tell those stories, but the ways in which men tell those stories change.
This year's International Women's Day is on the theme Press for Progress.
Well, you remember how the president asked us all to be citizens and not just spectators. Well, women are being celebrated across the globe today. So Imelda AJ, who is interested to know how women were doing, what women were doing on this day, how they were doing it, went onto the streets of Accra to get some responses. Take a listen.
I don't really think we've been left down there, because even if you look at the proportion of women who play a role in even parliament, as time goes on, you see it keeps increasing.
Who's my mama? Na man momo na say nemre. Titru no yesuku sam ni mfana ni bresam. Ye nya adwen say ye ntumi nya na emema ebetumi aye. Nti akoko ye.
Formally, they don't regard women, but these days there is a chance for women to come out. And then women are also holding key positions, and they are doing a lot of things that men are also doing. So I think we should celebrate the day.
I've seen few women that are successful, like Bella Mundi. For her, because I love her, so I can say she is successful. I mean, she has the chance. She has been to school, and then she's not like the other ladies in the village who give birth at a very early stage and don't have time to go to school but get married early and then give birth, and then by the time they are 19 or 20 they have like 30-50 kids.
We'll continue with the women's conversation in Insight. The Ghana Armed Forces is determined to change the narrative that they are a male-dominated profession. There are some very qualified and determined women who have found their way into this strength-required field. And we are honored to have a rare access to one of them, the 4th Infantry Battalion in Kumasi. Mary Kawukumi is not only good for parades, she handles one of the hard units as well.
Gender parity and gender mainstreaming appears to have assumed a very important pedestal across the world, breaking the glass ceils for women to attain their full potentials. Even so, till now, it looks out of the ordinary to find females in some professions which come across as requiring masculinity and some extra zeal to occupy. One of such professions is the military, once ascribed by brave and well-statured men with the ability to do the unthinkable. But it appears the trend has changed pretty much, with women at the very forefront of military activities within the Ghana Armed Forces.
It's something I've always wanted to do, and it's adventure too. I wanted to do something daring. And then this is one of the professions, like you said, that was considered male-dominated. So yes, to do something that is supposedly male-dominated, then I had to go in for the military. And then the interest, so if you have the interest, it makes it easier.
Second Lieutenant Mary Kawukumi is on regimental training at the 4th Infantry Battalion in Kumasi and commander of this anti-arms robbery operation, Calm Life Contingent, performing a silent drill. She tells GHOne News entering the military and rising through the ranks as a female requires some mental fortitude to operate just like any other man would.
In the military, there's nothing like women and then men. We all do the same thing. If it comes to training, we do the same. Physical training, we do the same. Weapons, that's why you have women who are on weapons. We have women who are drivers. We have women who even drive some of these vehicles. So it's right from day one. When you get into training, you know that there's nothing for men and then women.
She revealed that she still receives surprise looks from the public when they see her all jacked up in her uniform and wielding lethal weapons. Second in command of the 4th Infantry Battalion, Major Emmanuel Soso tells GHOne News female empowerment is top on the agenda of the military, with setting quotas allotted for women to be enlisted and pushed up to the top.
The presence of women in our midst testify to that. I know now, as far as even recruitment into the armed forces is concerned, there's a quota that is given to the female that will be trained by the armed forces.
For the men who find it a dangerous endeavor approaching women in the military, Second Lieutenant Mary Kwakumi thinks otherwise. She says you can approach just like you would make attempts at any other woman.
I'm a normal person again, but still with a military discipline. If you want to approach. If you are too fearful, you stay back.
From all indications, it appears the military is doing its bit to encourage women into that hard-aligned profession.
Or stay back if you're fearful. Congratulations to Mary. Now, but there are those of us who also press for progress in different arenas. And so as the world celebrates women today, we are wondering how we can project women and their achievements through film. Not just that, but also how we can end the negative narrative, turn things around and encourage more women into fields that have been overrun by men. There are different tools that can be used, but we have chosen to focus on film, a very critical tool, because we cannot discount the power of audiovisuals. In the studio with me now is one of my favorite actresses, Akofe Jenny Esiedu. That's right?
Yes, Akofe Jenny.
Ah, yeah. You know, I'm gone, so sometimes the A and the A confuses me a little. Okay. But where have you been? You look fantastic.
Well, thank you. I've been around at my restaurant, Valley for Cooking, so you should come.
I have been there. And I love it. But the day I came there, you were not there. I was hoping to see you.
Oh, really? Maybe I was on set, you know, because sometimes I go to act, and then when I'm not acting, then I'm at the restaurant.
It's good to see you in person.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know, not in my adult life did I think I'd ever meet you.
Oh, my goodness.
But here you are. Let's talk about film and how film can help in the progress of women. Over the years, we have projected our culture in film, but how has that helped us in that, you know, achieving progress for having women in the rightful positions?
Well, before I even answer your question, let me add on to what I just saw about the military Mary's story. It's great that women are making inroads in all aspects of our society. And my own sister is the first ever Brigadier General in the history of the Ghana Armed Forces.
What's her name?
Brigadier General Constance Ejani Afenu.
Oh, well, congratulations to her.
I salute.
Yes, congratulations to her. Well, she's making strides elsewhere. So are you in film.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
So now let me answer your question. See, film is the most powerful tool that we should use to change the narrative, not just for women, for everything else.
All aspects of our lives?
All aspects of our lives. Because today is Women's Day, let's zero in on women. We can change the negative narrative out there about women by using film, because film is a weapon. Everything that we churn out, everything that we put out there can affect us. In fact, it's not that it can, it does affect us.
True.
Now, the question is, you want us to affect positively or negatively? Because it does anyway. So we need to choose the positive side and then change the narrative. I think that if we are able to get more women writers, more women producers, and more female directors, it will do us a lot of good.
Because we'll be telling the story from the perspective of a woman.
We'll be telling the story from our own perspective. Some of the men are gender sensitive, and so when they're writing, they have us in mind when they're writing. But because a lot of the stories are written by men who don't understand women and don't even have any idea what we go through, write the story from their perspective, and it doesn't always tell the truth about who women are. Most times the story is about women being gossips, husband snatchers, witches, gold diggers. I mean, all the bad things.
So in a way, film has entrenched the stereotypes that we face as women right now.
I think so.
What would it take to change that narrative?
We need our film policies to be able to work. Okay. We need a film fund. We need content, good content. And that's what I was saying. If we have more female writing, or even male, but
gender sensitive,
they can write good stories. That will now start changing and show the strengths of women, what we do, our role in the society, our contribution to socioeconomic issues in the country, who we are, you know. And by doing so, the narrative will begin to change. We need to show more role models out there so that they know that I don't have to sleep with somebody to get a job.
Which is sometimes what's portrayed in our movies.
Yes, and it's not just that it's being portrayed in the movies, it's happening. You know, I know a girl who has been to 5 places looking for a job. And all the 5 places, she's asked to sleep with somebody before. So the first one, she said no. From no, the fifth one, she said, what do I do? I need a job. And it looks like everywhere you go,
it's the same request.
And she can't just be that she had stayed home for 2 years already. So if we can create the jobs, if we have policies, we have workplace policies for sexual harassment, we have all those things, then she can report whoever, or she doesn't have to sleep with anybody. Even in the movie industry, I hear it's going on. I stand corrected though, but I hear it does happen sometimes.
We've had a story.
You know, that it does happen sometimes. The producer or director is asking you to, I mean, it's unheard of. So we can use film actually to start changing the mindset of people. Now film, you know, film can be used for so many things. Even for the country's own agenda, you know, the AU and FEPASI is a Pan-African filmmakers, Federation of Pan-African Filmmakers, of which I'm the rep for Ghana. We had a meeting recently in Kenya, and the AU, in conjunction with FEPASI, has set an agenda 2063, where we are going to use film to change the narrative of Africa. So if the AU is thinking of using film to start changing the narrative of Africa, because there's too many negative stories that come out of Africa, and we need to do good by ourselves, I don't see why we shouldn't use film to change the narrative for women, because, I mean, women are...
So how easy is it for you as an actress to get a script and then you tell the producer or director, well, I don't think this is good for women to, you know, for us to portray this of a woman in the movie? How easy is it to do that?
There are some directors who are quite flexible and very understanding. When I get a script first, and well, I read the script. If I like the story, then I decide to do it, depending on the content. If I don't, I reject a lot of scripts, and people think that you're being difficult when you do that, but a girl must have some pride, right? You must be a little choosy. I can't just be in anything. And so I choose my scripts carefully because, I mean, my fans out there respect me a lot. And so when I'm in something, I want to make sure that they are getting the best. If I tell a director, sometimes they listen and they might change certain things for you. There was a script I got and I didn't like the story and the way the women were being, and I rejected it because the director was not ready to change the story. So if you're not ready to change it, then I don't play in it. And that is the strength that the women need to be able to stand our grounds and say, if you're not changing it, I'm not playing. But there are too many out there who are ready to do it when you say no. And so long as that keeps going on, it's not going to change.
So I think another part of the problem that will pose a lot of confusion to many Ghanaian women who may not, you know, be in position like you or myself, is the role culture plays in the movie. and what we want to achieve. So, for instance, there are some films that you watch and the place of the woman is at home, take care of the children, and then that's it for you. On the other hand, we're preaching the more assertive woman, the more the woman who achieves more with her life beyond being the mother and wife. Where do we draw the line between that reality of our life and what we want to push, as our new reality?
We are not doing away with our role as mothers or as wives. That's not what we are saying. And we are not fighting the men. So they should get that straight. We are not fighting the men at all. We want to be able to live freely, do the things we have to do in freedom without any intimidation, without being suppressed. So yes, I'm your wife, I will cook. If there's no house help, if I have to do the cleaning, I'll do the cleaning. If you can help, you should help. But then, women are multitasking. So we are able to prioritize. We're able to do all those things, do the household chores we're supposed to do, take care of the babies, so take care of our career. So that's all we want, So what we are saying is there should be that space and that freedom to be able to do all these things. And the men can chip in and help. In fact, they should help. Because these days, it's not like our mother's time when they were just homemakers and you go to work and bring the money and they just stay home and clean and cook. These days, most of the women are even the breadwinners at home. Or sometimes a man gives you 10 cedis and you cook food that costs 30 cedis. Where's the other 20 coming from? Because a woman works and subsidizes, And so these days, the women are doing a lot more.
I would have to leave our conversation here, unfortunately, but I hope to catch you again some other time.
Anytime.
Thank you very much, Akofa.
You're welcome.
Akofa Ejieni Esiedu is an actress and a film producer. Right. Now, let's move on with some other stories. Now, before then, let's take a look at polls for tonight on Women's Day. The question we asked: women are being asked to press for progress as the world celebrates our remarkable achievement this day. The question: is Ghana doing enough for its women? 48% says yes, 42% no, 10% are undecided. And I believe it tells you what members of the public who visited this poll think about whether or not Ghana is doing enough for women. Let the conversation begin in your homes, but that'll be all for Insight. You're watching News Tonight. We're live on GHOne Television. My name is Kemini Amano. We'll be right back with some more news. Stay with us.
Water gives life. Water is life. Enjoy the pure, refreshing taste of Awake purified drinking water, which comes in a uniquely designed bottle with a lemon green tap. Water is your perfect way to stay hydrated. And remember, for every bottle you buy, an amount will be donated to the National Thoracic Center, Ghana. Awake purified drinking water, one for life. For bulk purchase, contact 0262 351 251.
My Dear Rice. For special people, now available. Royal Dear Gold.
So what makes Storm energy drink different?
Look into the bottle.
Storm energy drink. Power.
I'm grateful you're still here with us on News Tonight. In other stories, as part of paying back to society on her birthday, GHOne TV's news anchor Sewa Amihir donated cash amount of 5,000 cedis to Ikurugu Primary School. Children in that school in the Upper East region have to lie on their stomachs to study because they have no desks. Actress and TV personality GHOne Okoro also sent in a check for 2,600 cedis to help in getting relief to these pupils.
Ever since the report on how children in the Ikurugu Primary School in the Upper East region suffered just to learn was aired, many people have been touched by the plight of the children, donating different amounts to help in getting desks for the pupils. Actress and TV personality GHOne Okoro has reached out with a check for 2,600 cedis to assist in getting desks for the pupils. Presenting the check, she called on other people to help in giving back to society.
I think that anybody that wants to help, even if you want to give out one desk, you have half a desk, as in the money. You know, if you bring, let's say, 100 Ghana cedis or 60 Ghana cedis, another person brings 60 Ghana cedis, that's one desk for them. So for me, anybody that can help, it's just a way of showing that we are also doing something, and as we are doing something, we are hoping that we can inspire others, to also reach out and help these kids. If you're privileged enough to have sat on a desk, then I think that this is the time that you should, get up and do something and help others. You know how good it is to sit on a desk.
GHOne News anchor Sewa Amihir on her birthday Thursday donated a cash amount of 5,000 Ghana cedis. Speaking in an interview after the presentation, Sewa Amihir decried neglect of children in Ghana's rural areas, especially in the northern sector, and called for concerted efforts in making life worth living in these parts of the country.
If you're out there and you are capable of helping, I mean, why not? We all need to help. These people will be our future presidents. Like the little boy said, he wants to be president. We'll never know. 10, 50 years from now, he might really be the president. So if you can help, I'm appealing to everyone to please help. It's 120 cedis for a desk, and this is money that some people spent. This is peanuts for most of our government officials. So I think they need to come on board and help these children, and it will go a long way.
Well, happy birthday to Sewa Amihir. Let's move on to some other stories now. Members of the Works and Housing Committee of Parliament Thursday toured some flood-prone areas in the capital. The move is to assess the readiness of the city against flood as the rains set in.
The major drains inspected at the Paloma section of Nima, Odona, Adabraka, South Kaneshin Toyota Showroom, Kaneshin Accra Academy, and and Sakaman. The first stop at Paloma generated heated exchanges among the committee members and city authorities. A statement by ranking member for the committee, Samson Ahi, that government isn't ready to release the needed funds for the reconstruction of the dilapidated drain was heavily challenged by Metro NADMO director Henry Plange.
This is a continuation of what we started in 2016.
What?
No, behind you.
This one.
We started the construction.
It's a new thing.
Please. Please. We started it in 2016. I could see that the workers are on site because they heard that we were coming.
No.
Look at us. What we need is concrete drainage system.
However, at Odona, the story was different. Workers were on site, busily working on the drains in an attempt to minimize flooding during downpour. At South Kaneshie, which constantly sees flooding at the least rain, the technical team called for a total reconstruction of the drainage system. In the interim, however, the silting of the drains is underway. The Accra Academy drainage is also under construction. Director of Drainage Maintenance at the AMA, Graham Saba, told GHOne News completion of the project will end the perennial flooding at the Kaneshie First Light Enclave.
Able to complete this drain, the flooding at First Light, at least, we relief from that one. We will not be facing problems there again. And also the silt at South Kaneshie drain, that is the one after Bechebilante too. The silt level will reduce.
The tour finally ended at Sakaman. Speaking to GHOne News after the tour, ranking member for the committee, Samson Ahi, maintained government has not shown enough commitment to solve the perennial flooding situation in Accra. The Bodi MP charged the president and his finance minister to tour the flood-prone areas to get first-hand information about the precarious nature of the situation. This, he believed, would convince them to make funds available to avert any future calamity as the rain set in.
I think that the finance minister should undertake a tour of all the flood-prone areas so that he will become conversant with what is going on.
Chairman for the committee, Nana Mwakon, is however confident needed funds will be made available to address the situation. He told GHOne News a lot has been done to avert flooding in the city when the rains come in.
We are talking to the World Bank, and then we know how much money that we need to do this construction. But so far, the construction that is going on, we are able to secure about 100 million after that. That's a short-term, prognosis that so far we're going to solve them. I think the government is doing its best to make sure this problem is resolved once and for all.
Let's bring you some business news now.
Business Brief is brought to you by Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you. We're looking for you, the next millionaire. We know of your stressful routine. From those 12-hour flights across the Atlantic to your hustle through traffic every day. From burning the midnight oil to that laptop that never sleeps. We know where you are in life, and we know where you want to go. Let us take you there. Thinking investment? Think Dusk Capital. Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
Henry, what is wrong with you and your laptop? It is not working.
Hey. What at all is going on in this house?
Your son's laptop is not working and my phone.
Me kai me mo frabrim. Na me mama de me ko Freddy's corner. Enti en eye manager. Se me di Freddy's corner ho dance e. A chere mabusia. Na de ba ko a me kai wo Freddy's corner. Eye se de wo siti wanim. Ejeji wo customers. Se eba mobile phone, eba laptop papa, camera papa, the PlayStation Freddy's corner aha in the wall. Se ko ba to mobile phone say, o camera say, o laptop say, and a PlayStation. Me ha ho bra. Freddy's corner be try you go ama. Freddy's corner, your home of authentic mobile phones and accessories.
Time now for business. Now, society denigrates market women, but it does not affect our input in society. These are the words of Nade, a fish trader at the Adabraka market. She has brought meaning to her life and that of her family as a fish trader and shares her story with Francisca Dixon Ahen.
56-year-old Nade Osabri Samwan has been selling fish at the Adabraka market for the past 32 years. She started with her mom, but finally took over the business. As a mother of 3, Nade Samwan has been able to put all her children through school, even up to the university level, with her last born presently at the KNUST studying. She looked beyond and rose above all challenges that threatened to swallow her whole. Although the economy seems bleak sometimes, it doesn't stop her from forging ahead to make life worth living. As a woman, she embraced all difficulties just to ensure the survival of her family.
Dagme waya meni ba hiyo susu ni wabuana kanyongbo alo ahabu kanyongbo ni obehe no kofemo waka fon bank agbene wo bi ehun bank komeba ni wo fio dagbe susu wo han wo bi ya school fees bona fe ni ka habe ni agbelegbe na ba ya school e ka fe bo na agba.
Women have and continue to make immense contribution to the progress of our world. They are our heroines, pushing the boundaries every day to achieve their dreams and make life better for others as well. Today, we honor and celebrate you, Nade Osabri Samwan, as an astute woman.
Well, what do you have to say to women tonight? Be nice to a woman this evening. But that'll be all for business, brought to you by Dusk Capital.
Business Brief was brought to you by
Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
Cheers to the women who have defied the odds in the entertainment industry and continue to stand the test of time. Here's an entertainment desk report by Adra Mofa Osei on some phenomenal women entrepreneurs.
From a musician to a fashion designer and now an executive director of an African award event, Mimi and Danny Michaels has seen it all and endured the test of time. Formerly known as Mimi Devilish, she instituted the Golden Movie Awards with the intent of rewarding well-deserving actors and actresses, producers, writers and other stakeholders across the continent. With 3 editions already executed successfully, the event has gained the attention and recognition of all interested parties so far as film is in perspective and promises to be even greater. Fashion has been redefined ever since the institution of GHOne Africa's lineup of activities, making more and more people conscious of their fashion statement, especially celebrities on the red carpet, the GHOne Fashion Week, the GHOne Style Awards, the GHOne Women of the Year Honors, and the GHOne She-Boss have all been contributing factors to the growth of the fashion industry. Claudia Lumo's vision of putting African fashion on the world map has been phenomenal. She has inspired, motivated, and challenged a lot of other young ladies to take up the mantle of defying societal norms to break out of their shells. In the face of the dwindling industry, she came in with a force that was unstoppable. Charlie Frimpong Manson's Parry production became the go-to movie production place, especially after her hit movie Adam's Apples, which got all tongues wagging. In an industry that was male-dominated, she changed the narrative and gave no room for intimidation. She has, through her medium, produced stars and given many people, not just Ghanaians, the opportunity to live their dreams in acting. To all women blazing the trail, keep soaring.
What was that about? She's just pissed off she got caught. What?
Well done to all women around the world, and to all the girls, it is possible. That'll be all for EZone. We'll bring you some sports news now. For most growing Ghanaian girls, the future is to become a nurse, teacher, doctor, and the likes. Some also want to go into a vocation, but not 27-year-old Mavis Ananiapia. Her dream was to coach a football team, and here is her story as told by Michael Infum, Abunafo region correspondent, when he visited her at training.
Coach Mavis Ananiapia is a graduate of the University of Education, Winneba. Her dream, even as a little girl, was to be a football coach, and she is living it. Mavis presently coaches DC United, a Division II football club based in Sunyane in the Bono Ahafo regional capital. As the only female coach in the Bono Ahafo region, she defied all odds just to take charge of the team 2 years ago. Her training starts at 6 a.m. with motivational message followed up with drills to put them in the right mood to the day's tasks. She tells GHOne TV what motivated her to go into coaching and not any other profession.
33 players here now, and then you could see I'm the only coach handling this talent and then this gallant young men. So it hasn't been easy, it's been very difficult, even things to put together before coming to training, and then who to learn from. You know, you have to always make researches on your own, make things on your own, you have to create things on your own. But if I think I had someone who I would always learn from, I think it would have been a little more straight than this.
She also reveals some of her challenges coaching a male team and her dreams for the future.
The difficult aspect is when you go to the remote villages to play a match, people then harasses you, people try to bully you because you are the only female among men. But what else can we do? We've been focusing, we've been staying tall just to make sure that one day we can be able to achieve and see this young talent, many playing the national team.
Well, would end the news here and bring you that story about Ivorian government banning what deemed as inimical to women as it hopes to upgrade its labor laws on International Women's Day in subsequent broadcast. But I'm definitely grateful you stayed with us. But unfortunately, I'm not able to bring you that story. My name is Kemini Amano. Do have a fruitful evening. It's Thursday, and so there'll be State of Affairs at 8:30. Good night.